Hello, how you doing, YouTube? My name is Headstone, student at Muhlenberg College, and I've come to you for an idea, and as well as to offer an idea. The idea I have for you is for you to listen, take the time, and see if you're interested in possibly what I consider a demand-side product. And a demand-side product, from my point of view, is a product in which we, the community, we the people, have decided this is something we want, and the big corporations and the bigger companies are going to get it for us. So the corporation that I'm focusing on today for this idea is Google. And the name that I would like to introduce the product as would be Google Life. And what I'm going to discuss with you today is the product, what I would like the product to do, how I would like the product to serve, and how I believe the product is going to serve the community and the customers in which use it. And I also believe, from my perspective of business and marketing, that this product is not only going to contribute to our society, but it's going to contribute and benefit all of mankind. It's really going to offer something for everybody, for all aspects of life, for all people of life, and it's going to do something great for us as a culture. And the idea of the product is a standalone system. And a little bit of background on it: there are currently today in the monument business a queuing technology which uses a barcode imprint which allows you to scan it and go to a website and listen to biographies and backgrounds and testaments and pictures and stuff of the deceased. And there is also, from another company, an RFID technology which more or less does the exact same thing but has a different method on how to get you there. Now, learning from those after I came up with my idea, I said, okay, well, what makes my idea different than theirs? And why do I want my idea to be different than theirs? And what is the purpose and what I'm trying to accomplish? And the purpose of what I'm trying to accomplish is a standalone system, meaning that you don't have to have the technology to scan that barcode. You don't have to go to a computer terminal in order to hear or to learn of your deceased and loved one. Instead, it's all present and available at the site. Okay? And the reason why this came to me is when I went to go see my grandfather's burial, I felt disconnected from him. I looked at nothing but a tombstone with a name, and all I had was the comments and the stories that were told to me by other people, but nothing from that individual. And I said, how great would it be if he was able to speak for himself? If he somehow left a message or a diary or some way of communication so that I could know who he was, because he died 3 years before my birth. And from that, and my desire and my thinking that marketing and products are going to full integration, meaning that computers and technology are going to make everything better and everything more efficient, how can we do this in the monument business? And this is what I came up with. The first idea I had was what I consider a high-end product. And what this is this is the tombstone. And what we do is we integrate technology into it. So right here would be a flat screen for your visual, a solar panel in order to get power, bolts in the face of it in order to protect it from vandalism, the weather, and the atmosphere, you know, and just Mother Nature in general. A sensor here, so when you walk up to it, it detects you and will start to play. And this is the back side of it. And of course, you know, even though you have solar power won't necessarily create the capacity, the juice, the current to constantly feed. So you'll have to have a battery to do that. So what we would do is incorporate in the back of the tombstone a plug and pull device, maybe a USB or something along that technology, which can plug into the battery, and then the battery can be kept outside of the tombstone. So maybe it can be buried behind it or something of that nature, and of course that's maintenance then that would be required. And to the technology, to where all of this is all going to come from, is going to be this interface system that we've designed here. And what the interface system has is it has an audio component, it has a push button component, a USB component which allows you to retrieve and download data into the system, and it has a spacing so you can incorporate names or affiliations of who it is that you want to communicate to. And then I also incorporated a key locking system so people can have the option to decide whether they want to lock the information or have the information unlocked and just readily available for anybody who comes to push the button. So how does all that play into back to our screen? The integration and the software that's built into this is what this is going to do is this is going to allow diaries to be recorded. And how it all begins is a software, is an application that can be downloaded online. And you would download the application online to your personal computer, and you would start your video feeds or your audio feeds, and you would start your diary. And what you would do as the person, as the consumer of the product, you would talk about yourself. You would introduce yourself with the understanding that people, loved ones, acquaintances, visitors of the facility in which you're kept or housed are going to hear it. And you will, for instance, on your child's birthday, will write the software and the code that will give the ability to your interface and the button that's pushed to say, okay, on this birthday, on this date, we want a person to be able to come and show up and say, okay, push the button, and then that person to have left them a message and tell them something specific, and it will be, for that time and for that moment. And then what will happen is the software will run with our calendar year. So the next day, that message will not be available to that person. The next day, it won't be a happy belated birthday, but it'll be something completely different, But each time will be personalized, okay? And we have 3 different products here. We have what I consider like a cheaper, less expensive product, which will just have the interface system, the audio system, a plate to cover it and to protect its internal hardware, and as well as a means for a battery. Then for the people who don't necessarily believe in being buried, we'll have an urn where the battery is attached to the bottom. So this one won't be as hard. You won't need solar or a constant means of charging the battery, but instead you can replace and put the batteries as you feel fit. And it'll have the interface system, which, like I said, will just be different buttons with names related to the people in which the person who's in this would like to communicate and talk to. And a little bit of what's required for the interface. The interface will definitely need a software programmer in order to program the software and to code it in order to allow the special features to occur as far as keeping with the calendar year and being able to recite and play the information when called for. It's also going to have the audio feature. The audio feature is going to have to be protected from the weather and be able to function and be used outdoors. And we're also going to want to have the USB attached to the motherboard of the system to allow for information to be withdrawn from the unit as well as downloaded into the unit. And in my opinion, what makes this product so great is it gives people the opportunity to always represent themselves. It gives people the opportunity to, no matter how much time has went by after their death and after they've left the world, to still have a voice and to still be heard, you know, and also to be able to communicate and to participate in the world that they left. You know, because, you know, we just assume for our day-to-day lives that when we leave, everything we have to say, everything that we've thought of is done and it's over with. But for scientists, for people who do research all their lives, there may be questions that they left. There may be answers that are still out there to be discovered. And this will be a means for everyone to participate. You understand? Because the person can choose, okay, I'm going to leave my lock open. And anyone who wants to come and see me and wants to know what it is that regarding this formula or this discovery or this information that I've been hanging so closely to, what I thought about it, what direction I was going in, they can push the guest button. They can push the visitor button. And then to the family members who maybe are diagnosed with cancer, you know, and they're spending their times going to the hospital and receiving chemo, and there's just so much stress and there's just so much pain. This could be an outlet. This could be a means where when they're home alone, when they're, you know, not consumed with the inevitability of their death coming, but they can be consumed and know that their voice is still going to be heard, and that the negative of their circumstance doesn't have to be all that people remember. They can simply get over it, move on, and then live with the person as who they were and who they wanted to be remembered. And again, the reason for this product is for the consumer to have a voice. It's for the person to be able to give their loved ones advice. It's for the person who knows that maybe they leave and they leave a child behind or a grandchild behind. That person's very young, and there's going to be information that's going to be pertinent to that person later on in life. You can simply archive the message. And through our archival system and the computer software, that message will automatically be retrieved at the date in which you want it presented. So maybe it's a 1-week window or a 2-week window. And for those 2 weeks, the computer interface will allow that message to sit and be made available to the individual who pushes the button. Another thing that I would like to point out is what this product can create for society. Now, not only do you have a product that's going to benefit the end user, but you have a product that's going to benefit all of those who care and value the user. All of those who go and want to hear this information that this person has left available to them. And where that information is left, and the facilities like the cemeteries or the churches who affiliate with these cemeteries, they're going to have the benefit of needing maintenance, of needing security, of, you know, of constantly keeping this software up to date and this hardware up to date. So it's a whole market, and it opens a whole means of jobs and opportunity for people. And I think that's also a great thing that products should be able to offer, which is the back end of the product and the front end of the product, and the domino effect of all the people who are benefited. So not only will people be benefited at being able to communicate with their loved ones, but people will also be benefited by having work that never existed and was never needed until this product came into conception. And I asked to the company that I consider one of the greatest companies currently in America, based on their ideology of not having to do evil to do business, Google, to look at this idea, you know, and to investigate if it's practical, if it can be beneficial. And if it can, I ask you to give us, the consumer, a chance and an opportunity to use it. And I would like to see, as I call this, Google Life to be formed. And for myself to be able to leave my diaries and to start to create my messages. And to know that even though I leave the earth and I'm no longer present in body, but that I can truthfully be present in voice and through imagery and visualization, and therefore I have the opportunity to live past my death, you know, and to live further than what the limits of life and circumstance have created for me, and to hear, you know, my great-great-grandchildren to come and to know the type of person I am and to know the type of human being I am. And I think everybody deep inside would like that. And I think that this standalone technology, and like I said, what makes it different from the current platforms is the current platforms flush you back to the internet. So all you're really doing is creating a Facebook theme or a blog page for your deceased member, versus with what I'm asking for today would be the deceased member is creating the voice for himself. And I think that's more powerful, and I think that's more beneficial to our culture if they can be allowed to speak for themselves and to speak to what they want people to know and understand about themselves versus someone else. Because who knows themselves and their person better than the individual? So with that being said, this is simply an opportunity for a visionary, for a leader to come forth and to put the demand to this product, and to offer the world and to offer society an opportunity to be able to speak beyond death, to ultimately, through this capacity, immortalize themselves and forever allow their presence to be heard and felt throughout time to come, and to make use of our technology and to benefit us humans by giving this to our people, and from us getting it, having the ability to use it and create who knows what from it. You know, we don't know what this can do and what this can make happen until we've done it. But what we do know is that this can benefit people. And it will benefit people. And all I ask is for Google specifically to look at this and see if this is something that they would be interested in. And see if this is something that they could see working into who they are as a company and what they already offer to people, which is communication like no one else can. And with that, I close and I say thank you very much for your time. Enjoy it, and feel free to leave your opinion. Feel free to leave your ideas, because your ideas aren't for me, your ideas are for yourselves. And this product is for you. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.